Check, 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 check. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 7, 8. These are numbers. These are numbers. I'm naming numbers. Hello, hello. What is up, everybody? Now, before we get into the video, I've got, just trying a different setup. Do you like seeing my desk? Do you like this fish-eye lens thing to see a lot of my room and make my room look bigger? I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, filming with the GoPro right now. Also, another thing, you might notice that I'm not holding my telephone and talking into it like a ding-dong, but instead, I got this pair of like fancy but affordable in-ear monitors that have a microphone on it with a clip, and now I don't have to hold my phone anymore. I upgraded because my other headphones did not fare so well in the durability department. Anyway, since this is a video about upgrades, I thought I might share some production upgrades with you. But anyway, let's get on with it. When you start reading around on the internet about bike stuff, like blogs like the Radavist or pedal consumption, or start browsing pictures on Pedal Room or on bike forums, or even if you start watching YouTube videos like mine, it's easy to want to start upgrading your bike willy-nilly, but determining when you should upgrade will save you a lot of money. I'm guilty of upgrading parts that obviously don't need to be upgraded just to satisfy my wants. 75s! In retrospect, these weren't the best financial decisions, and as a poor college student, having less money than I should have is something that I literally cannot afford to be doing. Now, I'm one who considers myself a nerd. How big of a nerd, you ask? Well, a lot of the ideas that I'm presenting here in this video got generated while I was reading one of my old textbooks. That's right, I was reading an old textbook. I'm a pretty big nerd. But hopefully I'll be much more entertaining than a stupid textbook for nerds. So, when should you upgrade? Well, the best time to make an upgrade is when you need to upgrade, but sometimes we can get away with making upgrades even if we just want to upgrade. First, let's take a crash course in personal finance and learn the difference between needs and wants. I know this is pretty basic stuff, but going back to the basics will save you money. Now, the best time to make an upgrade is when you need it. You need to make the upgrade. And when you have the money to, because you shouldn't spend money you don't have. That's how people get in debt, like student debt. But how can you tell if you need to make an upgrade? Well, first of all, there's two kinds of necessities. First, there's absolute necessities, and second, there's near necessities. Absolute necessities are things like clothing, shelter, and food. That one's my favorite. Hey there, ladies. I'm Zach Gallardo. I like long walks on the beach, deep conversations, and not starving to death. So obviously, bike upgrades aren't absolute necessities, but what are near necessities? Well, near necessities include utilities, personal hygiene and cleanliness stuff, doing what you gotta do to not stink. And it also includes reliable transportation. Your bike is a necessity if you rely on it for transportation, and because of that, you need your bike to be reliable. That was the most redundant sentence that I've heard all day. And now you're only making it worse by explaining its redundancy and making it even more redundant just by explaining its redundancy. I said redundancy twice in that redundant sentence. If your bike isn't performing its daily duties consistently and reliably, you need to upgrade the parts that suck. In an extreme but all too common case, Walmart bikes don't provide reliable transportation. After a few months, pedals start falling off, chains start snapping, bearings start feeling crunchy, and gears just stop working. In this case, the whole bike sucks. So upgrade the whole bike once it's out of commission. Another case where you might need to upgrade is when parts start failing on you, or when they start showing signs of heavy wear and just need to be replaced. For example, replace your chain every 1,500 to 2,000 miles, and replace your tires when they start balding. And when a part needs to be replaced, that's a good opportunity to spend a little more money, upgrade to something better and to something that might last you a little longer and perform better. In a lot of cases, people start making upgrades unnecessarily to completes that they they just bought. But chances are the bike is already reliable enough and doesn't need to be upgraded. If you need to make constant upgrades to a bike that you just bought, you probably should have just bought a better bike in the first place. Use the bike until parts get worn out to get your money's worth, and then once they need to be replaced, upgrade to something better. If your upgrade is a necessity that allows your bike to be a more reliable form of transportation, by all means go for the upgrade if you have the funds necessary. But most of the time we don't need to make an upgrade. We just want to. Why do we want to upgrade so often? Well, oftentimes we justify making upgrades because it'll make us want to ride more, it'll make our bikes stiffer and lighter, which will make us faster, and it will make us more comfortable. And all these reasons would be perfectly justifiable if only they were true. Upgrades will encourage you to ride more and ride faster and ride more comfortably, but the riding ultimately comes down to the rider, not the ride. A lot of us want to upgrade our bikes because we think it'll get us to ride farther and ride faster, but the key to doing these things is just riding more and making riding a habit. Thankfully, this can be accomplished without any money, and if you want to make riding a habit, check out my tips on this by clicking the card above. On top of that, riding more will allow you to dial in your fit. A proper fit is the most important part of a bike, and oftentimes it just takes time and a lot of riding to make minute adjustments to get it just right. Riding more will increase your endurance and sciencey, muscly stuff. But long story short, just the act of riding more will get you riding faster and riding farther, and you could do this all for free. Now, a lot of times we drool over bike candy and just have that urge to upgrade to a shiny new Philwood wheel set or some shiny new Sugino 75s. Unless you're a high-level racer, the rest of us can't really justify making these upgrades to bling parts as a need. It's just something that we want, and usually it's for not so great reasons. Take a look at the right side of this flow chart. The right side explains what we should do when we want something. And the first step is to wait 30 days. The 30-day rule simply states that if you want something, wait 30 days. Don't buy it, don't look at it, don't visit it at the store to see how it's doing. Just wait. 30 days, no more, no less. According to GetRichSlowly.org, the 30-day rule works because you're not denying yourself your wants. You're simply delaying gratification. Also, these 30 days gives you an opportunity to research the product and see if you actually want it. A lot of times after 30 days, we don't want to buy the item anymore. I did this with a very nice but unnecessary Canon G7X. I tried justifying my want by saying stupid things like, "It'll make vlogging easier. This steep price will encourage me to make my YouTube channel better, and it'll increase the production value of my videos." I waited, and waiting saved me $500. I don't need a fancy camera. But at the end of the 30 days, you still might want to make the upgrade. If that's the case, according to our handy-dandy flowchart for people that are bad with money like me, we might already have something that performs the same task reliably. When I upgraded to Sugino 75s, purely out of vanity, I was already riding on Andal standard track cranks. They were stiff, they looked fine, and they were 144 BCD. Money wasted on the 75s. But if you waited 30 days, you still want it, and you don't have something that performs the same function, check if you have a budget for it. Then either go for it or start saving. To recap, first you should upgrade your bike when you need to make it a more reliable form of transportation. Second, if you want to upgrade something you don't necessarily need, wait 30 days first, and if you have the money for it after 30 days and you still want it, go for it. This is the process that people that are good with money use. I'm getting better. Upgrades will only give us diminishing returns. The most value to be had is buying your first bike when you don't already have one. You get huge returns here since you can start cycling when you couldn't before, and you can also start being part of the cycling community. The returns for upgrades, on the other hand, are much less valuable. You spend a lot of money to go a little faster, make your bike a little stiffer, make your bike a little lighter, and maybe get some bragging rights with your friends. But I will leave that up to you to determine whether that is worth it. Now, before I go out and celebrate the 4th of July and America Day and America, I've got a few questions for you. First, what's an upgrade that you felt genuinely good about? Second, what's the opposite end of the spectrum? What's an upgrade that you regretted? And third, what's an upgrade that you're looking into right now? Let's talk in the comments, and I will see you all in the next video, and happy America Day, 4th of Independence, or if you're not American, happy Monday. There is an angry man yelling in a different language.